Have you ever wondered why life unfolds the way it does? Why some moments feel joyful while others seem challenging? The answer, in Buddhism, often comes down to one simple yet profound concept: karma. Now, when people hear the word karma, they sometimes think of fate or some cosmic system of rewards and punishments. But that's not exactly it. Karma is far more accessible, more empowering. At its core, karma simply means action. Your thoughts, your words, your deeds, and the natural consequences that follow from them. Imagine life as a garden. Every choice you make, every action you take, is a seed. Some seeds grow into lush, nourishing trees, while others become thorny weeds. The remarkable thing is that you're not just a passive observer. You are the gardener of your own life. Karma works through cause and effect. Every action, whether it's physical, verbal, or mental, produces a result. Speak kindly to someone, and you plant seeds of positivity that can ripple outward, touching countless lives in ways you may never see. Act with anger or malice, and you risk sowing tension, conflict, or harm. Karma isn't mystical. It's simply the natural connection between actions and their outcomes. Importantly, karma is not fate. It doesn't trap you in a predetermined path. Your past actions influence the present, yes, but your choices now create new karma, shaping your future. Think of your life like driving a car. The road behind you is shaped by what's already happened, your past, but the road ahead is completely within your control. How you steer, the decisions you make, your awareness, all of these determine where you go next. This is why understanding karma is so liberating. It reminds you that every moment is a chance to start anew. Buddhism breaks karma into 4 main types, helping us see how it functions across time: Sankita, Prarabdha, Kriyamana, and Agami. Sankita karma is the accumulation of all your past actions, the seeds you planted over lifetimes or simply over the course of your life. Some seeds lie dormant, waiting for the right conditions to sprout. If you practice patience and compassion in the past, these tendencies naturally arise when life challenges you. If not, you might find yourself reacting with impatience or anger. Prarabdha karma is a part of past karma currently bearing fruit. The circumstances shaping your life right now, like your family, your health, or major life events. You can't change what's already unfolding, but you can choose how to respond. A difficult situation can become an opportunity for wisdom if met with patience instead of frustration. Kriyamana karma is the karma you create right now. It's entirely in your hands. Every thought, word, and deed in the present moment plants seeds for the future. Smile at a stranger. Speak kindly. Choose not to retaliate when provoked. These moments of mindful action ripple outward, shaping not only your future but the world around you. Agami karma is the result of these present actions, the seeds that will grow into tomorrow. While you cannot alter your past, you have complete influence over what's ahead by acting consciously and ethically today. This cycle of past, present, and future karma is continuous, and understanding it allows us to focus less on what has already happened and more on what we can do now. Intentions matter. The Buddha taught that karma is not just about action, but about the intention behind it. Acts performed with compassion, generosity, and wisdom create positive karma. Acts driven by greed, anger, or ignorance create negative karma. Giving a gift out of genuine love creates far different consequences than giving one to manipulate or gain advantage. Awareness of intention allows us to act in alignment with our values, cultivating a life of harmony and fulfillment. Even negative karma can be transformed. Through mindfulness, compassion, and ethical living, harmful patterns can be broken. Wisdom helps us see the consequences of our actions, Compassion motivates us to reduce suffering, and mindfulness keeps us intentional in our choices. Practical steps make this tangible. Kindness and generosity, for example, need not be grand gestures. Offer a helping hand to a neighbor. Listen to a friend in need. Volunteer your time. Small acts accumulate into a vast network of positivity. Meditation enhances awareness, enabling mindful choices. Spend a few minutes observing your breath, noticing thoughts and emotions, cultivating calmness. Loving kindness meditation, repeating phrases like, "May I be happy," "May others be happy," trains your mind to align with positive karma. Ethical living, non-harming, honesty, respect for life ensures that your actions create harmony rather than conflict. Gratitude and contentment shift focus from what's lacking to what's already good, reducing attachment and fostering balance. Ultimately, karma is a tool for spiritual growth, not merely a guide to a better life. Every experience, pleasant or painful, offers opportunities to cultivate wisdom, resilience, and compassion. By reflecting on the consequences of our actions, acting with care, and cultivating empathy, we grow spiritually. The ultimate aim in Buddhism is to transcend karma entirely, to reach liberation, nirvana, the state free from the cycle of cause and effect. This doesn't mean escaping life, but fully understanding its nature and acting without creating new karma from a place of pure wisdom and compassion. Karma is a mirror reflecting our actions, intentions, and choices. It's not about fear or punishment. It's about empowerment. It reminds us that we have the ability to shape a meaningful, compassionate, and fulfilling life. By living mindfully, practicing kindness, and making ethical choices, we plant seeds of positivity not only for ourselves, but for all beings. By understanding and transcending karma, we embark on a journey toward ultimate freedom. Freedom from suffering, attachment, and the endless cycle of birth and rebirth. Your actions today shape your tomorrow. Live consciously, act with love, and sow the seeds of a brighter future. In doing so, you transform not only your life, but also the world around you. As we continue exploring karma, it's important to remember that every moment holds the power to change the trajectory of your life. Karma isn't something distant or abstract. It's happening right now, in every breath you take, every word you speak, every thought you entertain. Imagine for a moment the last time you reacted in anger. Perhaps someone cut you off in traffic, or a friend said something hurtful. That split-second reaction didn't just vanish into thin air. It left a mark, subtle but real, in the tapestry of your life. It may have planted seeds of tension or resentment, rippling out into interactions you didn't even anticipate. But equally, when you respond with patience, when you take a deep breath before speaking, when you choose kindness instead of reaction, you plant seeds that can blossom into trust, understanding, and peace. Karma, then, is like a mirror. It reflects not only what we do, but how we choose to do it. Understanding the ripple effect of karma is crucial. Small actions, even tiny ones, can generate far-reaching consequences. Think of dropping a pebble into a pond. The ripples begin small, barely noticeable, but they expand outward, touching areas you could never predict. A single act of generosity can inspire others to act kindly. A moment of cruelty can ignite a chain of negativity. This is why mindfulness, being fully present and aware, is so powerful. Every thought, every gesture matters. It's easy to think, well, I'm just one person. What difference can I make? But karma teaches us that even the smallest seed can grow into a mighty tree. By being conscious of your intentions and actions, you become an active participant in shaping not only your own life, but the world around you. Intentions are the heart of karma. The Buddha emphasized that the ethical weight of an action is determined by the motivation behind it. When your actions come from a place of love, compassion, or wisdom, they produce positive effects. When driven by greed, anger, or ignorance, the consequences can be harmful, even if the action appears neutral on the surface. For example, consider giving a gift. If you give from genuine care, you create goodwill and connection. If you give to manipulate or gain favor, you may reap tension or disappointment instead. Karma is deeply tied to our inner landscape, not just our outward behavior. It's a reflection of our consciousness, our mental and emotional patterns. This brings us to another important aspect, the transformation of negative karma. Many people fear that past mistakes or harmful actions condemn them to suffering. But the Buddha's teachings make it clear that negative karma is not a prison sentence. It is a lesson, an opportunity for growth. Through awareness, we can change how we act moving forward. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with stones, each one representing a past harmful act. With mindfulness, compassion, and effort, you can begin to remove the stones, lighten the load, and move forward with freedom. Wisdom allows you to understand the consequences of your actions. Compassion motivates you to act in ways that reduce suffering. Mindfulness ensures that your choices are intentional, aligning with your highest values. Even if you cannot erase the past, you can cultivate a future rich with positive outcomes. Practical daily steps make this abstract idea tangible. One of the most effective ways to cultivate positive karma is through acts of kindness and generosity. These acts don't have to be monumental. Holding the door for someone, offering a genuine compliment, or listening deeply to a friend in distress can ripple outward in ways you may never see. Volunteering your time, sharing your resources, or supporting someone silently struggling. All these actions plant seeds that grow into positive experiences for yourself and others. When you approach life with generosity, the world responds in kind, often in unexpected and beautiful ways. Meditation is another powerful tool for cultivating good karma. By sitting quietly and observing your thoughts and emotions, you develop self-awareness and the ability to respond rather than react. Loving kindness meditation, in particular, trains the mind to cultivate feelings of goodwill for yourself and for all beings. Phrases like, "May I be happy," "May others be happy," may seem simple, yet their impact is profound. With consistent practice, you begin to embody these qualities in your actions. Ethical living complements this practice. By avoiding harm, speaking truthfully, and treating all beings with respect, you align your daily life with the creation of positive karma. Every decision, from choosing products that respect life to being honest in small conversations, contributes to a life of integrity and balance. Gratitude and contentment are equally transformative. When you appreciate what you have, you reduce attachment and craving, which are roots of suffering and negative karma. Daily reflection on the blessings in your life, embracing simplicity, and finding joy in ordinary moments cultivate a mindset of abundance and positivity. A sunrise, a shared smile, the warmth of a meal, a moment of silence. These simple pleasures remind us that happiness is not in accumulating more, but in being present and aware of what already is. Karma is not just a roadmap for a good life. It is a pathway to spiritual growth. Every challenge you encounter offers an opportunity to practice patience, compassion, and understanding. Every joyful moment is a chance to deepen appreciation and share positivity. When you reflect on the consequences of your actions, you cultivate wisdom. When you act to reduce suffering, you cultivate compassion. Mindfulness ensures that your actions are deliberate and in harmony with these intentions. Over time, these practices build a life aligned with both ethical living and spiritual insight. Even more profoundly, the ultimate aim in Buddhism is to transcend karma altogether. Enlightenment or nirvana is freedom from the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, liberation from the causes of suffering. This doesn't mean turning away from life, but seeing it clearly, understanding its impermanence, and acting from a place of pure wisdom and compassion. When you act without selfish attachment, without craving, your actions no longer create binding karma. You live fully, freely, and harmoniously, influencing the world through presence rather than ego-driven effort. In the everyday world, this means cultivating awareness in all interactions. From the smallest gestures to the most significant decisions, mindful living transforms ordinary moments into acts of conscious creation. Whether it's choosing patience in a frustrating situation, speaking truth with kindness, or offering help without expectation, each action becomes a seed of positive transformation. Over time, these seeds shape not only your life but the lives of those around you, creating a ripple effect of goodness that extends far beyond your immediate perception. Ultimately, karma is both mirror and map. It reflects the intentions and choices that shape your life, while offering guidance for future actions. It's empowering because it reminds you that no matter your past, the present is your canvas. Each thought, word, and action is a brushstroke. Each moment is an opportunity to cultivate wisdom, compassion, and positive impact. By embracing mindfulness, ethical living, and kindness, you can consciously create a life that is fulfilling, harmonious, and spiritually rich. Karma is not a burden. It is a tool for liberation, a guide toward freedom from suffering, and a path toward a life of meaning and connection. So as you move through your day, notice the choices you make. Notice the intentions behind your actions. Reflect on how your actions ripple outward, touching the world in ways you may not fully see. With each conscious, compassionate decision, you plant seeds for a brighter future, for yourself, for others, and for the world as a whole. Karma is alive in every moment. It is your ally, your teacher, and your guide. Treat it with respect, act with awareness, and watch as your life blooms in ways both expected and wonderfully unexpected. As we continue, one of the most transformative aspects of karma is the practice of forgiveness and letting go. Karma is not simply about counting deeds or tracking consequences. It's about understanding the nature of your mind and the patterns that shape your life. Often, negative karma lingers not because of some external punishment, but because we cling to anger, resentment, or guilt. These emotions are like heavy chains that weigh down the spirit, creating cycles of suffering that replay endlessly in our thoughts and actions. The Buddha taught that forgiveness is a powerful tool to break these cycles. By forgiving others, you release yourself from the grip of past harms. By forgiving yourself, you stop carrying unnecessary guilt and allow the mind to heal. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior. It means freeing your heart from the burden of negativity, giving yourself the space to act consciously and with compassion moving forward. Letting go goes hand in hand with forgiveness. In Buddhism, attachment is considered one of the root causes of suffering and negative karma. We cling to things, material possessions, relationships, status, or even ideas of who we are, and this attachment fuels desire, fear, and frustration. By practicing non-attachment, we cultivate freedom. Non-attachment doesn't mean indifference or inaction. It means engaging fully with life without grasping, without clinging to outcomes, without being bound by ego or expectation. When we act from a place of balanced awareness, we create karma that flows naturally and harmoniously, without generating unnecessary suffering for ourselves or others. Consider how this plays out in everyday life. Perhaps someone has wronged you, and the memory still stirs anger or resentment. Holding on to that anger doesn't punish the other person. It punishes you, shaping your mind and actions in ways that perpetuate suffering. Instead, choose to acknowledge the hurt, understand the human motivations behind it, and release it. This doesn't erase the past, but it transforms your present, allowing space for more constructive actions and positive karma to arise. Similarly, self-forgiveness allows you to move beyond regret. Every mistake, every lapse in judgment is a seed for learning and growth. When you recognize your missteps, understand their consequences, and commit to acting differently, you actively cultivate new, positive karma. Karma is also deeply connected to mindfulness, the conscious awareness of your thoughts, words, and actions. When you live mindfully, you see the subtle ways your actions influence yourself and others. You notice the habitual patterns that may have kept you trapped in cycles of negativity, and you can consciously choose new responses. Mindfulness transforms ordinary actions into deliberate acts of wisdom and compassion. Even simple gestures, listening fully to someone in need, speaking truthfully, holding back a reactive comment, become powerful tools for creating positive karma. Each moment becomes an opportunity to practice awareness, to shape your inner life, and by extension, the world around you. A key aspect of this practice is the understanding of impermanence. Everything in life, relationships, circumstances, emotions, even the consequences of past actions, is transient. Recognizing impermanence allows you to let go of clinging, to understand that the past is gone and the future is yet to come. With this insight, karma becomes not a source of fear or obligation, but a guide to living in harmony with the natural flow of life. It encourages us to act ethically, compassionately, and mindfully, knowing that every choice seeds a future, while remaining aware that nothing is fixed or permanent. Spiritual growth, then, is about using karma as a mirror for self-awareness and a tool for transformation. It's not enough to avoid harmful actions. One must actively cultivate qualities that create positive ripples in the world. Compassion, generosity, patience, and wisdom are not abstract ideals. They are practical seeds for a more fulfilling life. Imagine approaching every day with the intention to plant seeds that benefit not only yourself, but others. Smiles offered freely, help extended without expectation, and words spoken with care and truth become powerful karma, creating a network of positivity that extends far beyond your immediate experience. The journey of understanding karma also involves a recognition that challenges are not punishments but opportunities. Difficult situations, painful relationships, and personal failures are mirrors reflecting patterns that need attention and transformation. Each obstacle offers a chance to cultivate patience, empathy, and resilience. When you face adversity with mindfulness and understanding, you transform potential negative karma into lessons, insight, and growth. By responding consciously rather than reacting impulsively, you break harmful cycles and plant seeds of harmony and wisdom. Meditation continues to be a cornerstone practice in this journey. Beyond cultivating mindfulness and self-awareness, meditation allows you to observe the subtle workings of your mind, recognizing tendencies that have been shaped by past karma. Loving kindness and compassion meditation expand this awareness outward, connecting your inner transformation to the well-being of others. Over time, your intentions and actions become increasingly aligned with ethical living, conscious awareness, and the cultivation of positive karma. Ethical conduct remains central. Every choice we make, from how we treat our colleagues to how we consume resources, has karmic weight. By choosing non-harm, honesty, and respect for all living beings, you create a foundation for life that is harmonious, balanced, and morally grounded. Ethical living, combined with mindfulness and compassion, allows you to actively transform your experiences, ensuring that even ordinary moments contribute to a life of positive impact and spiritual growth. Ultimately, karma is a teacher guiding you toward liberation. While positive karma brings happiness and harmony, the ultimate goal in Buddhism is to transcend karma itself. Enlightenment is a state where actions arise naturally from wisdom and compassion, free from attachment and craving, free from the compulsions that create cycles of cause and effect. In this state, one acts spontaneously, without ego, without selfish desire, embodying the highest expression of ethical living, mindfulness, and loving kindness. It is freedom in its truest sense, the realization of life as it truly is, unbound and luminous. As we reflect on this, it becomes clear that karma is both practical and profound. It's a tool for daily living, a guide for conscious choices, and a pathway to spiritual awakening. By embracing forgiveness, letting go of attachment, practicing mindfulness, cultivating compassion, and acting ethically, we transform ordinary experiences into opportunities for growth, healing, and liberation. Each thought, word, and action becomes a seed of potential, a chance to create a brighter, more harmonious life. So as you go about your day, notice the intentions behind your actions. Observe the patterns of your mind. Make choices consciously with awareness, with care. Understand that even small gestures, a kind word, a helping hand, a moment of patience, can ripple outward in ways you may never fully see. Karma is alive in every moment. It reflects, teaches, and guides. And by acting consciously, you don't just respond to life. You shape it. You become the gardener, the sculptor, and the creator of your own future, planting seeds that will bloom into wisdom, compassion, and freedom. Now that we've explored forgiveness, letting go, and the deeper spiritual dimension of karma, it's time to bring it into everyday life. Karma isn't only about philosophical ideas or abstract teachings. It's a practical guide for how we live each day. Every choice, every action, every thought carries weight, and by consciously aligning these with compassion, wisdom, and ethical conduct, we shape a life filled with meaning and harmony. One of the simplest yet most profound ways to cultivate positive karma is through kindness. Acts of kindness don't have to be dramatic or public. They can be as small as holding a door open, offering a smile to a stranger, helping a neighbor with groceries, or listening attentively to someone who is struggling. These seemingly small gestures can have an outsized impact. Each act sends out ripples of goodwill, touching lives in ways we may never fully see. When we consistently choose kindness, we create a network of positivity that not only improves the lives of others, but nourishes our own hearts and minds. Generosity is another key practice. Giving isn't just about material wealth. It's about offering what we have to help others without expectation of return. This could be our time, our energy, our knowledge, or even a simple word of encouragement. When you give sincerely, you plant seeds of positive karma that grow into trust, connection, and mutual support. Importantly, generosity fosters a sense of abundance in the giver, reducing attachment and greed, and increasing joy and fulfillment. Meditation strengthens all of these efforts. Through regular mindfulness practice, we learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without being swept away by them. This awareness allows us to act consciously, choosing responses that align with our highest values rather than reacting impulsively. Even a few minutes of daily meditation can cultivate a sense of calm, clarity, and intentionality that transforms ordinary interactions into opportunities for positive karma. Loving kindness meditation, or metta, is especially powerful. By silently repeating phrases such as, "May I be happy," "May others be happy," we train our minds to cultivate feelings of goodwill toward ourselves and all beings. Over time, this practice softens the heart, reduces habitual negativity, and enhances our capacity for compassion. Ethical living complements meditation and generosity. By avoiding actions that harm others, whether physically, emotionally, or environmentally, we align our daily behavior with principles of non-harming and integrity. Speaking truthfully, acting with honesty, and treating all living beings with respect ensures that our karma fosters harmony rather than conflict. Simple choices like supporting sustainable practices, using cruelty-free products, or being mindful of our consumption can accumulate over time into profound positive effects. Gratitude and contentment are also transformative in shaping karma. When we focus on what we have rather than what we lack, we cultivate a mindset of abundance and reduce the cravings that lead to negative actions. Daily practices of reflection, taking a moment to appreciate the people, experiences, and simple joys in our lives, can shift our perspective from dissatisfaction to fulfillment. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It means cultivating balance, noticing the good amidst life's difficulties, and acting from a place of gratitude rather than frustration or entitlement. The ripple effect of karma reminds us that our actions rarely remain contained. A kind word can lift someone's spirit, prompting them to act kindly toward others. A compassionate gesture can inspire a chain of generosity. Conversely, impatience, anger, or harsh words can spread tension and suffering far beyond the initial moment. Understanding this interconnectedness encourages mindful living, where each decision is considered not only for its immediate impact, but for the potential consequences it may generate in the broader web of life. Challenges, too, are opportunities for cultivating positive karma. When we face adversity, it is natural to feel frustration, anger, or fear, yet these moments are fertile ground for growth. Responding with patience, understanding, and wisdom transforms difficulties into lessons. Each time we choose a mindful, compassionate response rather than reacting impulsively, we plant seeds of resilience and strength that will benefit ourselves and others. Life continually presents chances to refine our behavior, to align our actions with intention, and to cultivate positive karma in ways both visible and subtle. Mindfulness extends beyond meditation into every aspect of daily life. It means noticing your thoughts before speaking, observing your emotions before acting, and choosing responses that reflect care, wisdom, and ethical awareness. Even small decisions, how you treat a coworker, how you manage conflict, how you navigate your personal habits, are opportunities to plant seeds of positive karma. Over time, these choices compound, creating a life characterized by harmony, balance, and ethical integrity. Finally, the ultimate power of karma lies in its potential to guide us toward liberation. Positive karma nurtures happiness, peace, and fulfillment, but mindfulness and ethical living prepare us to eventually transcend karma itself. By cultivating awareness, practicing non-attachment, and acting from a place of pure compassion and wisdom, we reduce the cycles of cause and effect that perpetuate suffering. Each action becomes a conscious contribution to life, not bound by ego or desire, and our choices begin to reflect the freedom and clarity of enlightened understanding. In practical terms, cultivating positive karma is a daily commitment, not a distant goal. Every morning offers an opportunity to act with intention. Every interaction is a chance to practice compassion. Every challenge is an occasion to respond with wisdom. Over time, these consistent efforts shape a life rich with harmony, fulfillment, and spiritual growth. By consciously planting seeds of kindness, generosity, ethical behavior, mindfulness, and gratitude, you create a garden of experiences that nourishes both yourself and those around you. The journey of karma teaches us that life is an ongoing process of creation and reflection, of action and consequence, of learning and growth. By living consciously, acting intentionally, and cultivating compassion and wisdom, we navigate life skillfully, turning challenges into lessons, setbacks into opportunities, and ordinary moments into acts of profound significance. In this practice lies the ultimate freedom, a life of purpose, clarity, and unconditional peace, where we are no longer bound by the cycles of suffering, but instead guided by the light of awareness, love, and understanding. Karma, at its heart, is empowerment. It reminds us that the life we live today is built by the choices we make in this very moment. By cultivating mindfulness, ethical behavior, compassion, and insight, we shape not only our destiny, but also the world we touch. And in doing so, we step into a life of conscious freedom, spiritual growth, and meaningful contribution, where each action sows seeds of harmony, joy, and liberation for ourselves and for all beings. Karma, when understood deeply, transforms from a simple cause and effect principle into a guide for living fully and consciously. It reminds us that every moment matters, that every choice counts, and that our actions are intertwined with the lives of others in ways both seen and unseen. By embracing the practices of kindness, generosity, mindfulness, ethical living, and gratitude, we participate actively in the creation of a brighter, more harmonious future, not only for ourselves, but for the world. Karma is alive in every moment, a reflection of our intentions and actions, and a tool for growth, transformation, and ultimately liberation. As we move deeper into understanding karma, it's important to recognize that its influence extends far beyond the individual. Our actions resonate through our relationships, our communities, and even the environment. Karma is not confined to our private lives. It is an invisible thread connecting us all, a web of cause and effect that stretches outward with every thought, word, and deed. In relationships, karma shapes the quality of connection and trust we experience. When we act with kindness, honesty, and patience, we cultivate bonds that are strong, harmonious, and resilient. Conversely, actions driven by anger, dishonesty, or selfishness create friction, mistrust, and disconnection. Even subtle patterns of behavior, like impatience or passive aggression, can plant seeds that grow into tension over time. By being mindful of our intentions and actions within relationships, we actively create positive karma that strengthens connection and mutual understanding. Community is another arena where karma plays a vital role. Think of a neighborhood, a workplace, or any collective group of people. Each individual contributes to the collective energy through their actions. Acts of generosity, cooperation, and support generate a culture of positivity, trust, and collaboration. Small gestures, helping a coworker, volunteering in local projects, or mentoring someone in need, can cascade outward, influencing community in ways that are both visible and subtle. Over time, these acts accumulate, creating an environment where compassion, ethical behavior, and mutual support are the norm. Conversely, selfishness, negligence, or cruelty can create cycles of discord, stress, and imbalance, not only affecting the person directly involved, but rippling to the entire network. Karma teaches us that our influence is never isolated. It is always part of a larger, interconnected whole. The natural world, too, is affected by our actions. Ethical choices regarding the environment, such as conserving resources, reducing waste, or respecting the rights of other living beings, reflect conscious karma in action. When we care for the planet, we contribute to the well-being of all life forms, creating conditions for harmony and sustainability. Neglect or exploitation, on the other hand, creates negative karma that can manifest in environmental crises, scarcity, and suffering for countless beings. Karma, therefore, encourages mindfulness not only in how we treat people, but in how we interact with the world at large, reminding us that all life is interconnected and that every choice carries consequences beyond our immediate perception. A key insight from this understanding is that positive karma grows through intention aligned with awareness. It's not enough to simply act. We must act consciously with thoughtfulness and care. This is why mindfulness and reflection are so essential. Before speaking, before acting, before deciding, pause to consider the impact of your choices. Will this action foster connection or division? Will it ease suffering or perpetuate it? Will it leave the environment and others better off or worse off? These questions guide us to make choices that create positive ripples, planting seeds of harmony, compassion, and balance. Challenges within relationships and communities also serve as opportunities for cultivating karma. Conflict is inevitable, but how we respond defines the kind of karma we generate. Responding with patience, empathy, and clear communication transforms potential negativity into growth, understanding, and stronger bonds. Reacting impulsively or defensively can perpetuate cycles of misunderstanding and pain. By practicing mindfulness and ethical responsiveness, we turn difficult interactions into opportunities for learning and cultivating positive karma. Gratitude and recognition are also powerful tools within relationships and communities. Acknowledging the efforts of others, expressing appreciation, and celebrating collective achievements reinforce positive patterns. Gratitude not only strengthens bonds, but also encourages a mindset focused on abundance rather than scarcity. This mindset fosters cooperation, generosity, and collective well-being, amplifying the positive karma we create together. Karma, in this broader context, is like a network of gardens, each action a seed influencing many plots beyond our own. One thoughtful act toward a colleague can indirectly inspire kindness in someone else, who then spreads it further. One decision to protect the environment can benefit countless beings and communities, creating waves of positive effect that may persist long after the initial action. Recognizing this interconnectedness imbues everyday life with profound meaning. We realize that we are not separate from the world, but part of a continuous flow of energy, choice, and consequence. Spiritual growth and ethical living converge beautifully in this understanding. By consciously cultivating positive karma within ourselves, in our relationships, and in our communities, we create conditions that support collective flourishing. The principles of mindfulness, compassion, generosity, and ethical conduct are not just personal practices. They are ways of actively contributing to a healthier, more harmonious world. Karma encourages us to see the consequences of our actions not only for ourselves, but for everyone around us, fostering empathy, responsibility, and a deep sense of interconnectedness. As we reflect on this, it becomes clear that no action is insignificant. Every word spoken, every decision made, every effort to help heal or support has the potential to shape the world in meaningful ways. Karma reminds us that our influence is far-reaching, extending beyond the immediate moment and touching countless lives, often in ways we may never witness. By acting with mindfulness, kindness, and ethical awareness, we participate in a vast, ongoing dance of cause and effect, contributing to a legacy of positive influence that outlasts our immediate perception. In practical terms, this means approaching daily life with deliberate intention. Treat everyone you meet with respect and compassion, even in small interactions. Seek ways to serve and support your community. Be mindful of your environmental impact and act with care toward all living beings. Reflect regularly on the consequences of your actions and adjust your behavior to align with wisdom and compassion. Over time, these conscious efforts cultivate a life of harmony, balance, and spiritual insight, creating a personal and collective environment where positive karma can thrive. Ultimately, understanding karma in the context of relationships community, and the world at large deepens our awareness of interconnectedness. It reveals that our choices matter not only for our own well-being, but for the well-being of countless others. Karma is both a mirror and a guide, showing us how our actions ripple outward, shaping not only our own lives, but the lives of those around us. By living mindfully, acting ethically, and cultivating compassion, we transform ordinary moments into powerful opportunities to create a better, more harmonious world. In this way, karma becomes not just a personal practice, but a force for collective good, weaving a tapestry of positive influence that extends far beyond what we can immediately perceive. As we move forward, the question becomes how we take all this understanding of karma and make it part of our everyday lives. How do we ensure that our actions, words, and thoughts consistently contribute to positive outcomes, not just for ourselves, but for the world around us? The answer lies in conscious integration, bringing mindfulness, ethical living, and intentional action into every aspect of daily life. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools for achieving this integration. Sitting quietly, observing the breath, and watching the mind without judgment cultivates a space of awareness. This practice allows us to notice habitual reactions, patterns of thought, and impulses before they translate into action. Through meditation, we create a pause, a moment of choice where we can act deliberately rather than being carried by unconscious habits. Even 5 minutes of daily meditation can begin to reshape how we engage with the world, turning reactive behavior into conscious action. Mindfulness, once developed through meditation, becomes a living practice. It's not confined to sitting on a cushion. It permeates every interaction, every decision, and every movement. When you speak, mindfulness ensures that your words are honest, kind, and constructive. When you act, it ensures your actions align with your values and intentions. When you think, it allows you to observe your thoughts without becoming entangled in them, creating a space for reflection and wisdom. In this way, mindfulness transforms ordinary life into a continuous practice of cultivating positive karma. Each moment becomes an opportunity to sow seeds of kindness, compassion, and ethical integrity. Ethical living is the practical application of mindfulness and meditation. It is the conscious choice to act in ways that minimize harm and promote well-being. This includes non-harming or ahimsa, which extends not only to other humans, but to all living beings in the environment. Simple daily choices, like avoiding cruelty to animals, reducing waste, or speaking respectfully, carry profound karmic weight over time. Honesty and integrity are equally vital. Living truthfully, honoring commitments, and taking responsibility for your actions prevents negative karma and builds trust, harmony, and stability in relationships and communities. Ethical living is not about rigid rules. It's about aligning behavior with values, acting consistently in ways that reflect wisdom and compassion. Intentional action is another essential pillar. Each day presents countless opportunities to create karma, both positive and negative. The choices you make may seem small, offering a kind word, helping someone carry groceries, or simply being patient in traffic, but their effects can ripple outward in ways you may never fully witness. By approaching life with intentionality, we ensure that even the most mundane actions contribute to positive outcomes. This requires reflection, pausing before acting, asking yourself, does this choice promote harmony, understanding, and well-being? Over time, this habit transforms ordinary actions into conscious contributions to a more positive, compassionate world. Consistency is key in cultivating positive karma. Small daily actions, repeated with awareness, build momentum. Just as watering a garden regularly ensures growth, regular mindfulness, meditation, and ethical action cultivate lasting positive effects. It is not necessary to perform grand gestures. The power of karma lies in steady, conscientious effort. Each mindful word, each kind action, each ethical choice compounds, shaping a life of integrity and purpose. Another practical dimension is reflection. At the end of the day, take a moment to review your actions, words, and thoughts. Consider what actions created harmony and what might have caused tension or suffering. This reflection is not about self-criticism or guilt. It is about understanding and learning. Awareness of patterns allows you to adjust your behavior, cultivate wisdom, and prevent repeating actions that generate negative karma. Reflection, combined with meditation and ethical living, creates a feedback loop, reinforcing positive patterns and strengthening the seeds of conscious action. Gratitude and appreciation further support this practice. By recognizing the positive contributions of others, acknowledging the blessings in your life, and celebrating moments of joy, you cultivate a mindset oriented toward abundance and generosity. Gratitude reduces attachment and envy, fostering a sense of contentment and peace. In turn, this mental state naturally leads to actions that create further positive karma, reinforcing a cycle of well-being and harmony. The integration of meditation, ethical living, and intentional action also extends to our broader impact. The way we treat colleagues, friends, family, and even strangers generates ripple effects throughout the community. By acting with awareness, compassion, and integrity, we influence the collective environment positively. Similarly, our choices regarding consumption, environmental care, and social responsibility shape the world around us. Conscious karma is about seeing the interconnectedness of all life and acting in ways that nurture that web rather than disrupt it. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable, but they too become opportunities for cultivating positive karma when approached mindfully. When difficulties arise, pause, breathe, and respond with awareness. Reacting impulsively can reinforce negative patterns, while responding with patience, empathy, and thoughtful action transforms adversity into growth. This approach allows you to navigate life's complexities with balance, resilience, and ethical clarity, ensuring that even challenging situations contribute to your spiritual development and positive influence. Ultimately, the conscious integration of meditation, ethical living, and intentional action turns karma into a living practice, a guide for daily life, a tool for personal growth, and a means of contributing positively to the world. Each moment becomes a chance to act with awareness, plant seeds of kindness, and shape both your own life and the lives of those around you. Over time, this consistent, mindful practice cultivates a life rich in harmony, purpose, and spiritual insight, where every thought, word, and action aligns with the creation of positive karma. Karma is not simply a philosophy. It is a practical, transformative guide for living fully and consciously. By integrating mindfulness, ethical behavior, and intentional action into the rhythm of daily life, we create a foundation for lasting well-being, spiritual growth, and a meaningful connection with the world. Each day is a new opportunity to sow seeds, each interaction a chance to cultivate harmony, and each reflection a way to deepen awareness. When lived consciously, karma becomes not a burden but a profound source of empowerment, guiding us toward a life of compassion, wisdom, and liberation. As we continue, one of the most important aspects of karma is learning how to maintain it even in the face of challenges. Life is rarely smooth. Difficulties, misunderstandings, and conflicts are inevitable. But it is precisely in these moments that our understanding of karma becomes most powerful. When confronted with adversity, our habitual reactions often carry potential for creating negative karma. Anger, impatience, fear, or resentment can generate harmful consequences not only for ourselves but also for those around us. Awareness and emotional management, therefore, are essential tools for sustaining positive karma. By pausing before reacting, taking a breath, and observing our internal state, we create a space for conscious choice. In that moment, we can decide to respond with patience, understanding, and compassion, turning a potentially negative situation into an opportunity for growth and positive action. Emotional awareness is key. Emotions themselves are not inherently good or bad, but they signal tendencies and patterns within us. When we observe anger, jealousy, or fear without immediately acting on them, we prevent these impulses from creating unskillful karma. Mindfulness allows us to understand the roots of our emotional responses, to see how past experiences and accumulated habits influence the present moment. Through this understanding, we gain freedom. The freedom to choose responses that align with wisdom and compassion rather than unconscious reaction. Over time, this practice transforms the quality of our interactions, reducing conflict and fostering harmony, both internally and externally. Challenges are also opportunities to strengthen resilience and deepen insight into cause and effect. Each difficulty presents a situation where choices matter deeply. How we respond shapes not only our immediate circumstances, but also the ripple effects that extend into the future. For instance, if someone treats us unfairly, we can respond defensively, perpetuating negativity, or we can respond with calm and understanding, creating potential for reconciliation, learning, and growth. Recognizing that every action has consequences encourages us to navigate life with care and intentionality, turning even challenging experiences into fertile ground for cultivating positive karma. Daily life offers countless small moments where karma is at play. Consider your thoughts, which are the seeds of action. Negative thinking, judgment, or resentment can subtly influence behavior and speech, planting seeds that eventually bear consequences. Positive thoughts, on the other hand, compassion, gratitude, patience, shape our perceptions and interactions, naturally giving rise to actions that foster well-being and harmony. Awareness of this subtle dynamic allows us to act proactively, nurturing mental patterns that generate positive outcomes. Meditation, reflection, and mindfulness practices help us track and transform these mental habits, reinforcing constructive patterns and gradually reducing those that cause suffering. Another crucial aspect of sustaining positive karma is understanding the impermanence of situations and outcomes. Life is constantly changing. Circumstances that once caused joy or suffering are never permanent. By recognizing this impermanence, we learn not to cling to fleeting emotions or results, which in turn reduces attachment and the negative karma that arises from craving or aversion. This perspective allows us to act more freely, intentionally, and wisely, creating a life that is less reactive and more aligned with long-term harmony and ethical integrity. Compassion plays a pivotal role in managing karma through challenges. Understanding that everyone is navigating their own karma fosters empathy and patience. When others act out of ignorance, frustration, or fear, we can respond with understanding rather than judgment. By doing so, we prevent unnecessary negative consequences and contribute to a cycle of kindness and reconciliation. Compassion extends not only to others, but also to ourselves. Recognizing our own imperfections without harsh self-criticism allows us to act from a place of growth and learning rather than guilt and reactivity, generating positive karma through self-awareness and self-care. Reflection and intentional planning strengthen our ability to maintain positive karma. At the end of each day, reflecting on our actions, words, and decisions allows us to identify patterns that create beneficial outcomes and those that may lead to harm. This process of evaluation isn't about self-punishment. It is about awareness and growth. By consciously adjusting our behavior and setting intentions for future actions, we create a feedback loop that reinforces constructive karma. This ongoing practice cultivates wisdom, ensuring that over time, our habitual responses are increasingly aligned with ethical, compassionate, and mindful living. It's also important to recognize that positive karma compounds over time. Just as small acts of kindness gradually build trust and harmony, consistent practice of mindfulness, ethical behavior, and emotional management strengthens the foundation of our lives. Positive karma doesn't always produce immediate results. Like seeds planted in the garden, the effects unfold gradually, sometimes in ways that are subtle or invisible. Patience and persistence are therefore essential, trusting that conscious, deliberate action in the present moment shapes a more harmonious and fulfilling future. Ultimately, maintaining positive karma through challenges requires a balance of awareness, ethical intention, and practical action. It is not about perfection, but about mindful engagement with life. Each decision, no matter how small, carries potential for growth or harm. By approaching life with attention, compassion, and ethical insight, we maximize opportunities to cultivate positive karma, even in moments of difficulty or uncertainty. Over time, this conscious approach fosters a life marked by resilience, wisdom, and meaningful connection, allowing the individual not only to navigate life skillfully, but also to contribute positively to the broader web of relationships, community, and the world. By integrating emotional awareness, reflection, mindfulness, ethical living, and intentional action, we strengthen our capacity to sustain positive karma continuously. Life becomes a series of conscious opportunities to learn, grow, and act for the benefit of ourselves and others. Even challenges and setbacks become teachers, offering lessons that deepen our understanding of cause and effect, reinforce compassion, and refine our ability to act mindfully. In this way, karma transforms from an abstract concept into a living practice, guiding us moment by moment toward a life of balance, harmony, and spiritual insight. Through awareness, intentionality, and compassion, we cultivate the ability to navigate life skillfully. We learn that our thoughts, words, and actions are never isolated. They influence ourselves, others, and the broader world. Maintaining positive karma, therefore, is both a personal practice and a contribution to the collective well-being. Each mindful choice, each compassionate response, each ethical decision becomes a seed for a more harmonious life, fostering resilience, wisdom, and ultimately, freedom from the cycles of suffering that arise from unskillful action. As we continue exploring the deeper layers of karma, we arrive at the transformative role of wisdom and insight in shaping not only our immediate actions, but our long-term life trajectory. While mindfulness, ethical living, and intentional action guide us moment by moment, wisdom allows us to perceive the patterns and principles that govern our lives, giving depth and clarity to every choice we make. Wisdom, in the context of karma, is the understanding of cause and effect, not just in isolated events, but across the vast tapestry of life. It is the ability to see how actions ripple through time, shaping not only the present but the future, and to recognize the interconnectedness of all beings and circumstances. With this awareness, we gain the ability to act not reactively, but with foresight, intentionality, and a clear sense of purpose. Insight begins with self-awareness. Understanding our own tendencies, habits, and motivations allows us to navigate life with greater precision and care. By observing the patterns of thought, emotion, and behavior that have historically led to suffering or discord, we can consciously choose alternative actions that foster harmony, growth, and positive outcomes. For instance, recognizing a habitual reaction of impatience allows us to pause before responding, to choose calmness and understanding instead. This awareness transforms ordinary interactions into conscious opportunities for cultivating positive karma, and it builds a foundation for personal transformation and spiritual growth. Wisdom also involves recognizing impermanence. Life is fluid, constantly changing, and nothing remains fixed. By understanding that both joy and suffering are transient, we learn not to cling to outcomes or resist change. This recognition reduces attachment, which is often a root cause of negative karma, and allows us to act with equanimity and clarity. When we approach life with this balanced perspective, our choices are guided by insight rather than impulse, by understanding rather than desire, and by compassion rather than self-interest. In this way, wisdom becomes a compass that directs our actions toward long-term harmony and meaningful fulfillment. A profound aspect of wisdom is understanding the role of intention in karma. It is not merely the act itself that shapes outcomes, but the consciousness behind the act. Actions motivated by genuine compassion, generosity, and ethical awareness generate positive karma, whereas those driven by ego, greed, or malice create the potential for future suffering. By cultivating clarity of intention, we ensure that our deeds, however small, contribute to our own growth and the well-being of others. For example, when helping someone, we consider not only the immediate effect but the long-term impact, acting in ways that empower rather than create dependency, uplift rather than diminish, and heal rather than harm. Life purpose and long-term karma are intimately connected. When we align our actions with a deeper understanding of our values, aspirations, and the broader web of cause and effect, we move beyond reactive living into deliberate creation. Each decision becomes part of a coherent narrative that shapes our character, our relationships, and the legacy we leave in the world. Purpose gives direction to our actions, ensuring that they're not scattered or impulsive, but intentional and meaningful. Through consistent alignment of wisdom, mindfulness, and ethical action, we gradually construct a life that is not only successful in conventional terms, but deeply fulfilling on a spiritual level. Another dimension of insight is the recognition of interdependence. Our actions are never isolated. They influence and are influenced by countless factors, people, and circumstances. Understanding this interconnectedness fosters empathy, patience, and responsibility. We begin to see that helping one person, acting ethically in a small community, or making conscious environmental choices resonates far beyond immediate perception. Each positive action contributes to the greater good, reinforcing cycles of harmony, compassion, and collective well-being. Conversely, negative actions, even those that seem minor, can ripple outward in ways that perpetuate suffering. Wisdom allows us to navigate this web of interconnection thoughtfully, ensuring that our choices align with the broader flow of life rather than disrupting it. Spiritual practices deepen this understanding and support the conscious shaping of karma. Meditation, reflection, and contemplative exercises cultivate clarity, equanimity, and insight into the nature of mind and reality. Through these practices, we learn to distinguish between transient impulses and enduring values, between fleeting desires and meaningful intentions. This clarity informs our actions, guiding them with precision, care, and awareness, and helps us navigate life in ways that minimize negative consequences while maximizing positive impact. In essence, spiritual insight illuminates a path, revealing how each thought, word, and deed contributes to the unfolding of our life story. The cultivation of wisdom also invites humility and openness. Recognizing the vast complexity of cause and effect, the limitations of our perspective, and the depth of interconnectedness fosters a sense of reverence for life. It encourages us to act responsibly, to consider consequences carefully, and to seek guidance from ethical principles and spiritual teachings. Humility allows us to acknowledge our mistakes, learn from them, and correct course without ego-driven defensiveness. This openness nurtures continuous growth, resilience, and the capacity to generate increasingly refined and positive karma. Ultimately, wisdom transforms karma from a series of reactive outcomes into a conscious, purposeful practice. It enables us to see beyond immediate gratification or avoidance of pain, guiding us toward long-term fulfillment, ethical integrity, and spiritual liberation. When combined with mindfulness, ethical living, and intentional action, wisdom ensures that our efforts to create positive karma are not haphazard but coherent, sustainable, and deeply meaningful. By cultivating insight into the nature of cause and effect, impermanence, intention, and interdependence, we equip ourselves to navigate life with clarity, compassion, and effectiveness, shaping a future that reflects our highest values and aspirations. In this way, the integration of wisdom and insight elevates our understanding of karma from a personal principle to a profound guide for purposeful living. Each decision is informed not only by immediate circumstances, but by a broader comprehension of life's patterns and our role within them. The result is a life marked by intentionality, balance, and the capacity to create positive, lasting impact. Karma becomes both a mirror reflecting the consequences of our choices and a tool for shaping our destiny, reminding us that with awareness, compassion, and wisdom, every moment is an opportunity to cultivate a life of harmony, fulfillment, and spiritual growth. As we approach the next layer of understanding, one of the most liberating aspects of karma is realizing that the past does not have to dictate the future. While accumulated actions, thoughts, and patterns, our sankita and prarabdha karma, may influence our present circumstances, insight and awareness empower us to break free from cycles of negative outcomes and consciously cultivate a positive life. This process begins with acknowledging the past without judgment or attachment. Recognizing mistakes, harmful patterns, and missed opportunities is not about guilt or self-punishment. It is about clarity, understanding, and the willingness to learn. Awareness of past karma illuminates the connections between previous actions and current experiences, allowing us to respond with wisdom rather than repeating unskillful behavior. The first step in overcoming negative karma is acceptance. Accepting that past actions, whether our own or those of others, have shaped our current reality create a foundation for conscious transformation. Resistance or denial often traps us in cycles of blame and frustration, which perpetuate suffering and limit our capacity for change. Acceptance, on the other hand, opens the door to reflection, insight, and intentional action. By seeing the consequences of past actions clearly, we gain the ability to choose differently in the present, effectively planting seeds for a more positive future. Forgiveness is a powerful tool in this process. Forgiving others who have caused harm releases the emotional burden that can weigh heavily on the mind and heart, preventing the perpetuation of negative karma through resentment or retaliation. Equally important is self-forgiveness. Recognizing that we are human, that we make mistakes, and that growth is a continuous process allows us to move beyond guilt and regret. Through forgiveness, we create mental and emotional space to act consciously and constructively, transforming past pain into opportunities for growth and positive action. Mindfulness serves as a bridge between understanding past karma and creating future karma. By cultivating awareness of our thoughts, emotions, and impulses in the present moment, we prevent automatic, unskillful reactions from determining our actions. Each moment becomes a choice point, a chance to act with compassion, integrity, and wisdom rather than being driven by old patterns or reactive impulses. Through consistent mindfulness practice, we learn to observe the subtle triggers of negative behavior, understand their origins, and respond with conscious intention. Over time, this strengthens our ability to generate positive karma even in situations that would previously have provoked harmful reactions. Intentional action is a practical expression of this awareness. Once we recognize patterns of negative karma, we can consciously choose alternative behaviors that promote harmony, understanding, and well-being. This might involve changing habitual responses in relationships, adopting ethical practices in daily life, or seeking opportunities to contribute positively to our communities and the world at large. Each deliberate choice, grounded in insight and awareness, functions as a corrective measure, counteracting previous negative karma while simultaneously generating new positive karma. Compassion and empathy are essential companions in this journey. By understanding that everyone, including ourselves, is navigating the complex web of karma, we cultivate patience and understanding in our interactions. This perspective reduces judgment, fosters reconciliation, and encourages constructive behavior, preventing the creation of further negative karma. Compassion also extends inward, helping us treat ourselves with care, recognize our limitations, and approach personal growth with kindness rather than harsh self-criticism. Through empathy, we not only heal ourselves but also create the conditions for positive relationships and collective harmony. Reflection and learning from past experiences reinforce the conscious cultivation of positive karma. By examining situations where actions led to undesirable outcomes, we gain insight into the causes of suffering and the conditions that generate negative results. This knowledge enables us to make more skillful choices in the future. For instance, recognizing that harsh words previously led to conflict allows us to choose patience and careful communication moving forward. Reflection transforms mistakes into lessons, ensuring that our past serves as a guide for wiser, more mindful action rather than a chain that binds us. Spiritual practices, such as meditation, journaling, and contemplative study, support this ongoing transformation. Meditation enhances clarity, emotional regulation, and presence, while journaling allows us to articulate patterns, intentions, and insights. Contemplative study of ethical teaching, philosophy, and personal values deepens understanding, providing guidance for decisions and actions. Together, these practices create a structured environment in which awareness, insight, and intentional action can thrive, empowering us to overcome negative karma and cultivate a life aligned with ethical, compassionate, and mindful principles. The path to transforming past karma into positive future outcomes is a gradual, continuous process. It requires patience, persistence, and a commitment to conscious living. Even small, consistent actions, speaking kindly, helping others, practicing honesty, and cultivating mindfulness, accumulate over time, gradually reshaping life circumstances, relationships, and inner states. This cumulative effect demonstrates a profound potential of conscious karma, that with awareness, intention, and ethical living, we can transcend limitations imposed by past actions and actively create a life imbued with positivity, purpose, and growth. Ultimately, overcoming negative karma and consciously shaping a positive life is about embracing empowerment. While past actions may influence the present moment is where real transformation occurs. Every thought, word, and deed is an opportunity to plant seeds for a better future. Through mindfulness, compassion, intentional action, and reflection, we create conditions that support ethical, harmonious, and fulfilling outcomes. This is the essence of karma as a tool for liberation rather than a burden, a practical guide for conscious living that allows us to break free from past limitations, cultivate positive influence, and move steadily toward a life of wisdom, compassion, and spiritual fulfillment. By integrating these practices into daily life, we transform our relationship with karma from reactive to proactive. We recognize that while we cannot change the past, we have complete agency in the present. Through consistent awareness, ethical choices, and compassionate action, we not only neutralize the impact of past negative karma, but also actively generate positive karma that shapes our future. In this way, karma becomes a dynamic force for growth, empowerment, and transformation, guiding us toward a life of integrity, harmony, and meaningful contribution to ourselves and the world around us. As we arrive at the final stage of our exploration of karma, we see that understanding and practicing it is not merely a philosophical exercise. It is a path to ultimate freedom, spiritual growth, and a life of deep purpose. All the principles we have discussed, mindfulness, ethical living, intentional action, reflection, wisdom, and compassion, converge to create a life that is conscious, balanced, and transformative. Karma, at its highest expression, is no longer a matter of cause and effect in a superficial sense. It becomes a mirror reflecting the depth of our awareness, our intentions, and our capacity to act with love and wisdom. The realization dawns that life is a continuous flow of opportunities to align with ethical and spiritual principles, to cultivate positive influence, and to move steadily toward liberation from suffering. The ultimate goal of karma in Buddhist understanding is liberation from the cycle of samsara, the repeating cycle of birth, death, and rebirth driven by craving, attachment, and unskillful action. This liberation, known as nirvana, is a state in which one transcends karma itself, acting not out of selfish desire but from pure wisdom and compassion. Here, actions no longer generate binding consequences because they are free from attachment, aversion, and ego. Achieving this state is a culmination of consistent mindfulness, ethical conduct, and insight into the impermanent and interconnected nature of reality. Every moment of conscious action, every effort to act with intention and compassion, brings us closer to this profound freedom. Living with this awareness transforms how we approach every facet of life. Each choice becomes an opportunity to create harmony rather than conflict, understanding rather than ignorance, and compassion rather than indifference. We begin to see that even ordinary actions, when performed mindfully and with ethical clarity, carry the potential to shape the future positively, not only for ourselves but for the broader web of life. Acts of kindness, patience, and generosity ripple outward, influencing people, communities, and the environment in ways that are subtle yet powerful. Karma, therefore, is both personal and universal, a guide for cultivating goodness and awareness that extends far beyond our immediate perception. Freedom from the cycle of karma does not mean disengaging from life. It means engaging fully, but without attachment, craving, or aversion. It is the ability to act with clarity and compassion in every circumstance, responding to life's challenges and joys with balance and equanimity. This level of understanding deepens our connection to others, fosters empathy, and enhances our capacity to contribute positively to the world. By living consciously and ethically, we create conditions for lasting peace, fulfillment, and spiritual growth, while simultaneously supporting the well-being of those around us. The integration of meditation, mindfulness, ethical living, and reflection ensures that our actions are not reactive or habitual, but intentional and aligned with our highest values. Over time, this conscious approach rewires our habitual responses, replacing patterns of negativity or unskillful behavior with wisdom, compassion, and positive influence. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming become opportunities for growth. Setbacks transform into lessons, and every interaction becomes a chance to practice kindness and awareness. Through this steady cultivation, we generate a life rich in purpose, harmony, and spiritual insight. Gratitude and contentment further support this liberation. Appreciating the present moment, acknowledging the efforts of others, and finding joy in simple experiences cultivate a mindset that is free from envy, attachment, and craving. This mental state naturally guides actions toward generosity, compassion, and ethical integrity. In this way, the cultivation of positive karma aligns with spiritual growth, reinforcing a virtuous cycle where mindfulness and insight deepen, and life unfolds in harmony with the principles of ethical and conscious living. As we reflect on the journey of understanding karma, it becomes clear that every thought, word, and deed matters. While the past may shape our circumstances and the present provides opportunities for action, the future is an open canvas shaped by conscious choices. By cultivating awareness, intention, compassion, and ethical integrity, we shape that future in ways that promote harmony, joy, and spiritual freedom. Karma ceases to be a concept of fate or punishment. It becomes a practical, empowering framework for living a meaningful life, a guide for transforming ordinary experiences into opportunities for wisdom, compassion, and liberation. Ultimately, practicing karma consciously leads to a life of purpose. It allows us to act not out of fear, guilt, or desire, but from clarity, love, and wisdom. We learn to navigate the world with skill, patience, and empathy, creating conditions for positive outcomes while cultivating inner freedom every action, no matter how small, becomes a seed that can grow into lasting peace, understanding, and joy. In this way, karma becomes both a mirror reflecting our current state and a tool for shaping a brighter, more harmonious future. By understanding, practicing, and transcending karma, we step onto a path of profound spiritual empowerment. We learn that liberation is not about escaping life, but about engaging with it fully consciously, and compassionately. The cycle of suffering driven by unmindful actions gives way to a flow of wisdom, compassion, and intentionality. Through mindfulness, ethical living, reflection, and spiritual insight, we create a life aligned with our highest potential, where every moment is an opportunity to act with clarity, kindness, and purpose. Karma, in its truest sense, is not a law of punishment or reward, but a reflection of the life we create through our choices. By cultivating awareness, ethical action, and compassion, we transform our existence into a continuous practice of positive creation, growth, and liberation. Every day, every interaction, every thought is an opportunity to generate good karma, shape a meaningful life, and move steadily toward freedom, enlightenment, and lasting peace. In embracing this path, we not only improve our own lives, but also contribute to the well-being of all beings, illuminating the world with understanding, love, and mindful action.